And hello, puppies. Welcome back to another episode of the Isle of Series. Tonight is episode 6, and it's going to be a double header. So, what we're doing is we're going to split the show in half. The first half will be about baseball, and the second half will be about the Hulk. Can we intertwine them? Maybe. But I would like to welcome on our guest who can hopefully accomplish that goal for us. Jeffrey. Hello.
What's up? Hey.
How's it
How's
going?
it going? Oh, good, man. Happy to be here. Thanks, guys.
Absolutely. How's the night been? Prepared and ready?
Never, but it's been good. I've just been hanging out. Football playoffs. I've been watching those most of the day, and that's about it, really. Just enjoying the Saturday day off. Yeah.
Which is pretty good. I mean, just relaxing in general is really nice.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Alrighty. Well, I've already seen a lot of tailgaters. I've seen a ton of people. Who have I seen? I've seen Sam. I have seen Bear Island. I have seen John. I know I saw John at some point. I see Jay. And I see there was somebody else. Unruly there. Yeah, okay. I knew I saw someone. Welcome all for joining us. And tonight, Jeffrey, I would like to start us off by talking about baseball, one of America's favorite pastime.
Yeah,
alrighty.
For sure.
So my first question to you, sir, how old were you when you first started to like and or play baseball?
I mean, like, I don't forever ago. Always. I started playing when I was probably like 3 years old. I don't know. I've always been into, like, my mom used to say she could give me like a ball and I would entertain myself with like a basketball or a football or a baseball all day long. So it's always been something that kept me busy and I enjoyed. Started off, like I said, probably like when I was 3 and played all the way through high school till I was 18. I could have played longer, but I didn't. So
yeah. So did you kind of just do like the minor leagues, like through like school activities and then worked your way up, or?
There were leagues we played in. It was like after school with like people from, you sign up and they put you on teams with like people from your school and the neighborhoods. It was all based on like location and everything like that. But I was in the same league from the time I was 3 all the way till I was in 6th grade.
Wow.
Yeah.
I bet you were sick of those kids after a while.
No, you know what? That's the great thing about baseball. Like I met so many people, had so many friends by the time like I was in middle school and high school, and everybody that you played baseball with, and it was one of the coolest things because a lot of those guys are still my friends today, like more so than people that I went to school with. We spent a lot of time together. I mean, it was a year-round thing. Eventually, by the time we were in high school, we were playing baseball all year. So we made some good friendships along the way, for sure.
Oh, that's really, really cool. So definitely a bonus.
No, for sure. It was a big bonus. You grow up a lot with those guys.
It just makes the foundation for a really good community. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and it's cool because, like a lot of fears of young kids of, going to a new school when you hit middle school, or you going to a new school when you hit high school. Like you see people that you're not expecting to see that you've grown up with playing baseball. And it always worked out like that. And being part of a team is really, I think it's really good growing up because it teaches you to be a part of something. And like one of the best things about playing baseball was you get out there and you don't want to let anybody down, like your teammates. You're out there fighting for your teammates and giving it all you can for your friends. So it was always, it was always something that is really hard to replicate outside of team activities and sports.
Yeah. Well, I lost my train of thought. I was going to say something else to follow up from that. I completely lost it. No, but I mean, and it can definitely, because when you create like a group like that, and then you guys can all connect through, one thing, and then it can lead on to others. I mean, it's definitely, I can imagine it would be really good to help with, or not, I guess not help with, but it's definitely a boost for when you're growing up, and you can have people to rely on, and just kind of have those connections even when you're younger.
Yeah, no, big time, man. Just like, because for me, I was part of some really special groups of people, including like the coaches that I had. Because when I was young playing baseball, the coaches that I had were really special, and they're almost like a second father. Like they're there to help you grow into a man. They're not just there to kill time. They were always there to help you learn how to play baseball, but make sure that you were taking care of everything else in your life also. So, I mean, it was really, really good for me as a young kid.
Did your coaches ever take you out to get ice cream?
What's funny is there'd always be like, after the end of the game, we'd go get pizza, or we'd go to McDonald's, or we'd go do team activities on the weekend, go to like the batting cage or the college baseball game, and all just hang out and things like that.
Wow.
So it was really cool.
Very nice.
Yeah.
So that means you played baseball for about 15 years?
Yeah. Solid 15 years.
Oh, 15 years.
I was falling apart by the time I was done. So,
what position did you do?
I was shortstop.
The whole time, or did you fluctuate?
Yeah, for the most part, shortstop.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I mean, I could play whatever position. Like the last game of the year, sometimes the coaches would just throw us at some random position wherever we wanted to play. I'd play catcher every great once in a while, but for the most part, I was always playing shortstop.
Oh, so you get to kind of just like watch everything unfold.
Yeah, like shortstop's usually like the person in charge. Like you're there telling everybody where to be, where to stand, what's going on, things like that. So shortstop is usually like reserved for what they would call like the field general, the person ready there, like running the show kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's where I was a boss. That's where they put the man in charge.
I know little to nothing about baseball, so I'm over here thinking, shortstop. That's kind of boring. You're not really in the action.
It's probably one of the most important positions. Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
Besides pitcher.
I was going to say, being pitcher would probably be like, if not the most stressful job, because everyone's eyes are like on you the whole time. And if you drop that ball.
Yeah, but it depends on the person you are too, because there's certain people that rise to the occasion just for moments like that. I pitched every great once in a while. Pitching was not my specialty. I always had a sore shoulder and elbow, so pitching was definitely not my strong point. I could throw the ball fast and I could throw it straight, and that was about it, which was okay every once in a while when nobody else could get the job done. But usually you want one of your better pitchers up there who could throw different pitches like curveballs, sliders, and things like that. I couldn't throw any of that stuff, so I would just every great once in a while come in to pitch, but usually I was at shortstop.
Well, you probably weren't in practice. You were trying to throw. If it was like once every like 6 games, you wouldn't be prepared, so you'd be sore.
Oh well, you know that, and it's just getting out there. You're overhyped. You're trying to throw the ball as hard as you can all the time for years straight. Like your shoulder and your elbows take the most abuse, I think, as a baseball player. Because even just from swinging the bat, I had problems with my elbows just from swinging, and then always out there throwing, eventually, like if I could do it over now, I there's things that I would do differently, because it was like every throw I made was as hard as I could. It was 110%, even times when you didn't need to. And throwing the ball, I wouldn't play as much. Like year round, I think burns a kid out. Like physically, not so much as a mental thing. I loved it mentally. That was all I wanted to do. But physically, I don't think that it is probably good for someone of that age to be playing baseball, throwing a baseball. You want to play sports or something, switch it up. Maybe go play some basketball, go run track, things like that. Because you do one thing for so much, like you're gonna wear yourself out. And I had a lot of burnout, and physically by the time I was done.
Yeah. Oh. So Drew asks, did you play the city league the whole time, or did you play school, travel, etc.?
Both. I played all city league. I played school all through. We didn't start having school teams till middle school, which is 7th grade out here. But from 7th grade all the way through high school, I was on the school teams. We had school leagues for summer leagues. I forgot what they were called. But yeah, when I was a kid, 7th grade, I was on a team. It was the Mid-Valley All-Stars, and a lot of the guys from that team got to go and play over in Japan for the Junior Olympics. I didn't go, but a lot of the guys that I played with went, and that was a pretty cool thing, playing with some guys like that, because some of the guys that I played with on that team ended up playing professional baseball. So that, it's cool getting to play. That you played with some super tough competition, and you could compete and stay with them.
Yeah. Dang. Which, going not only to a different country, but as far as that would be really surreal.
Yeah, no, you know what? The thing, like, travel ball gets expensive too, because you got to pay. You're going out of town at least once a week. Tournaments aren't free. You got to pay for the tournaments. You know what I mean? Like, each tournament we go to is like 150, maybe more than that. I remember the trip that the guys went to Japan was like a $10,000 tournament. So, it's not like you're just going out and playing baseball. There's a lot of money that goes into things like that. But yeah, it was always all year round. Before like middle school, I was doing like quarterly sports. Like, it was track, and then it was basketball, and then after basketball would be baseball. And but by the time you get to middle school, your focus is on one sport, because you got teams that are wanting you to play on their travel leagues, and stuff like that. And once you get invited to go play on a travel league, that's when it gets real competitive. And if you're really trying to play, you don't turn an opportunity like that down.
Yeah. Okay. So, who's your favorite team?
And chat. Lay it down in the chat.
Yeah, who's favorite team? Let's see the rivalry fly.
Let's get some smack talk.
Come on.
Oh man, San Francisco Giants are my favorite team.
Nice.
Why?
I don't know. Growing up, that's just who I liked. Part of it's probably vicinity, location. We had a minor league team here, the Fresno Giants. That was the minor league team for the San Francisco Giants, and I would go watch them. So probably in correlation with that. A lot of people growing up where I grew up are big-time Dodger fans, and I despise the Dodgers. So if any of you Dodger fans are out there, sorry. The A's are cool. Yankees, yeah, I'm a baseball fan. I will watch any baseball game. Like, if the Giants aren't playing, it doesn't matter. I'll watch the Dodgers play. I'll watch the Yankees, teams like that. I just love baseball in general, but Dodgers, I'm not. The Rockies are getting that close to being one of those teams too, but not quite yet. Phillies, we got some Phillies fans. Kurt, we actually beat the Phillies in 2010 to go to the World Series and win our first World Series that year. I got a big old banner. Yeah. First of three in 5 years, a great dynasty. It's first of the San Francisco Giants, because the San Francisco Giants were originally the New York Giants. And then when the Brooklyn Dodgers traveled out to the West Coast, the New York Giants decided to follow them. So they came out here.
So, in all that time that you were playing baseball, did you win anything?
Yeah, well, like trophies, and we got awards and things like that.
What kinds? How many?
Trophies? I've got over 100 of them. Like,
oh my god!
I don't remember the last time I counted. I was probably like, it was back in high school. I don't know, 120 of them or something, 115, something like that.
Where do you keep them all?
I told you, that's why I said I got it. They're all in storage. Got a big old storage shed full of them all. Awards, like most valuable player awards, team leaders, the highest RBIs, highest batting average at the end of the year, things like that.
Wow. I was going to say, were they the participation good job awards or were they actual?
Well, I mean, everybody gets one of those, right? Like once in a while. But I got trophies for all sports. Like I played football, but football was hard it was hard on me. I spent more time hurt on the sidelines than I did anything.
Oh.
But I got bowling trophies for bowling, water polo, track, I don't know, maybe basketball, baseball, all that good stuff.
I cannot
Kurt
play
has a
anything.
question.
Oh, hi. Jeffrey, do you
Yo.
play any adult softball now or do old injuries prevent that?
Well, it's not old injuries, it's new ones. But I go out and I play. I do play catch and stuff like that, and I'll swing the bat a little bit, throw the ball to some friends and stuff like that. But I was in a car accident and I had to have my hip replaced and my pelvis reconstructed, so I can't run or really do much.
Yeah.
Well, and that's why you started to collect Hulk, right? I mean,
Hulk's always been there too.
Yeah.
But but he was kind of like backseat, like secondary to baseball. Baseball was life growing up. Hulk was always there, and I was always collecting, but it was always more like a little hobby on the side kind of thing. But when I got out of baseball and sports, like I kind of got into more collecting comic books because they were always there, but it was just like every great once in a while, once a year I'd go out and buy a comic book or two as a kid, read them, put them in my box, whatever. But it definitely took off after that for sure. Because when I was growing up playing sports, collecting was, it was collecting baseball cards, football cards, things like that. But none of that stuff was ever like that stuff. They're not really worth that much anymore. It's just old cardboard paper, that kind of thing these days. I mean,
but still kind of cool.
No, it is. But like the thing with those is there'd be like one card that would be worth a lot of money. And the only reason it'd be worth money is because somebody made a mistake and they put the wrong name on the card or something like that. And there's like one of them out there in the world, and nowadays collecting is different. There's more, I don't know, like special cards, like variants, things like that. You can pull like autographed cards out, or you can pull cards out with like authentic game worn jerseys. You can get cards nowadays that have parts of a game used baseball bat, things like that. I have a few, but they were in storage and I couldn't quite get to them. But it's a little different these days, because back when sports used to run my life, that was basically what I was into, with the Hulk on the side. But now it's, before I created this room, it was like sports memorabilia and stuff up. So obviously you can tell. I got a few Giants things here and there, but that's about it.
All right. Yeah. Well, if we are making the transition, I am going to let Cade come in and give his fire facts before we go full circle and start talking more about the Hulk.
Fire facts. Number 1, baseballs have 108 stitches. Number 2, baseball spectators eat 10,000 or more hot dogs per game. And number 3, Hulk was created in 1962 by Stan Lee. Now I'm going to go smash a ball. Bye.
Hot dogs. Who doesn't love a hot dog? Oh my gosh.
10,000 hot dogs.
A game.
Yeah. Oh no, the hot dogs are like a staple of the food though. Like you go to any sporting event and you get hot dogs. Those are great.
10,000 a game?
Well, you figure, okay, you go to a game and there's anywhere from 25 to 75,000 people. So if 10% of those people are buying hot dogs, that's probably 10,000 right there.
All right. So here we go. Second half of the show. Now I'm gonna bombard you with some more questions.
I'm good at that. Let's do it.
Okay. How long have you liked the Hulk? And is there a reason why you picked him over other superheroes? Other than possibly his relation to the Giants.
Well, I'm not exactly 100% sure. I have pictures of myself as like a little tiny kid with like Hulk action figures and things like that. If I had to take a guess, it would have probably been I saw a cartoon or the television show when I was little, and I just liked the fact that he was like kicking people's butts, and smashing and stuff like that. I mean, as a kid, I don't know. I bet a lot of guys, if you ask them, were like growing up. I was very into like He-Man action figures, Incredible Hulk, any of the big buff, any of the big buff dudes, right? Like that's kind of like what you always wanted to be when you were a little kid, or at least I did. But the Hulk was the biggest, baddest dude there, right? Like in my head, he still is. So I think that has a lot to do with it.
So, well, I mean that definitely makes sense. Is you want, as a kid, you're looking for the stronger, more heroic characters.
Yeah, with mixed in with a little bit of craziness, because I'm a little bit of crazy. Like it just suited me. Like that was, I don't know. Like maybe it was the fact that there was a genius inside, and then he could just turn into this giant raging beast and just go take care of business.
It's like a polar opposite, where you have a timid genius, and then you got like the brawn,
Yeah. Well, growing up, I used to like to think that I could turn into the Incredible Hulk, and there were times that I definitely pretended like I was the Hulk, and all my life, like growing up playing baseball, you want to be as intimidating as possible. I got my game face, just for that reason. Like, and it, you want to look like you're going to tear the person's, heart out of their chest. And that's what you're always taught. You go out there on the field, you put on your game face, like you don't want anybody to think you're weak.
Did you like Hulk out?
Yeah, no, for sure. My friends always tell me that you're always hulking out. They always tell me that when I get mad. But yes, there were times I did. People said that they thought that I was just going to murder them. So I looked like I was the scariest dude out there. Yeah,
Bruh.
staring at it.
That's awesome, because it's a mind game.
No, it is.
You there, and you want to hit the ball and be tough, and if you Hulk out inside of your head, I think that really would work.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like that's a big part of it, because when I was little, my friends would always say they didn't, they'd be scared because I'd look like I was just crazy when I was up at the plate or when I was pitching. They just like they're very intimidated, and that was part of it. You don't want somebody stepping that plate thinking they're gonna hit a home run off you. You know what I mean? Like you want them to step into the plate thinking they're gonna get a fastball down their throat. Like that's kind of the way it goes. So yeah.
So Kirk wants to know what you think of the MCU Hulk.
Well, he's there, and I like that. But I haven't been thrilled. My favorite portrayal of the MCU Hulk was definitely Ragnarok, which a lot of people don't like. But that's my favorite portrayal of the Hulk in any MCU movie. Out of all the Hulks, Ruffalo is, I don't know, I'm used to Mark Ruffalo being Incredible Hulk, playing Bruce Banner. Honestly, I don't think they've done a good job with picking a Bruce Banner in any of the movies. I didn't like Eric Bana. I didn't really like Edward Norton. And I'm not a big fan of Mark Ruffalo, but I'm used to him. He's cool. I'm okay with him being in there. The portrayals of the Hulk have not been my favorite, especially in Avengers Endgame. Hulk just seemed like he was slow, lethargic, drunk, or stoned or something half the time is what I felt like. You know what I mean? Just like, I don't know. But he's in the MCU, and I'm thrilled that at least they, continue to keep him in it.
Yeah. So with that being said, do you have like a favorite version of the Hulk, whether it be like a comic or a show? Probably not a movie, because we just talked about the MCU.
I like the original Hulk, like Neanderthal-ish Hulk, Savage Hulk, they would call him, probably up before like issues 300, because after issue like 324 is when he kind of gets parted and he kind of gets like to the where he's an intelligent Hulk being. I really like the Savage Hulk before that, so it's probably like up to issue 324 range where he's just crazy, but he's still got compassion and sympathy for people, but yet he's still just a beast, a hulking, just savage beast.
So I know you said that when you were younger, you tended to like baseball more, and Hulk was a sideline. Would you say that's true now, or which one do you like more, baseball or Hulk?
Okay, as far in a sense of saying, which I don't know if I couldn't have survived my youth without baseball. Let's put it that way. I could probably have lived without Hulk, but baseball was just this big part of me, and it created a lot of who I am today. Taught me a lot of valuable lessons. Like, not that I did great for myself, but I could have been a lot worse off without having that influence of baseball and sports in my life. But now Hulk is definitely like in the forefront of everything. I mean, I love them both. They're both like my loves. My first love probably would be baseball, but the Hulk is just right there with it. So I'm not sure if that completely answers the question, but.
So it's kind of more baseball has a special place in your heart and your life, but Hulk is kind of more just of an enjoyable aspect.
Yeah, I enjoy them both a lot. Very, very much. Yes. It's just hard because baseball was my release, in a sense of if you had a bad day, you knew that you're always going out to play baseball and do things like that. It's like a physical release. That was probably the best thing for me growing up, and I don't have that anymore. But with the Hulk, it's a whole different kind of a thing because I can sit there and I can get lost in my comic books. I can, sit there and watch the movies or, just all the stuff that I have. But yeah, they're just different in different ways, passions, very, very much passions, but passions in different ways, if that makes sense.
Definitely.
Are you still just as passionate about baseball now?
Yeah, for sure. I can sit there and watch a baseball game, no problem. I know a lot of people have problems. They think it's boring, which I can see a lot of people like. I think certain things like watching golf, I think is boring, but yeah. But no, I can sit there. I love baseball. Going to a game and watching it live is completely different than anything I think in the world. Like especially if you go to like a major league game and you're there with like 65,000 passionate fans screaming and yelling, and it is really cool. I guess you could liken it to like a rock concert type of thing or something like that, but you can't really beat that. You can only get that at something, a big venue like that, whether it be basketball or football. Sometimes that's just such an amazing feeling to be a part of. But yeah, and then going to a comic convention though I get a lot out of going. Like when I went to New York Comic-Con, man, I was on a whole nother level. Like that was insane. Like I was just lost and loving it. So it's just.
Do you go to a batting cage now?
No, I tend not to. I'm too old. Hurt myself.
It's hard. I mean, my brother who's in the chat and we go to batting cages, and I gotta tell you, like when you're whacking that ball, you really feel it.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, you gotta know what you're doing. You gotta use the right bat. You gotta hold it in the right spot. You gotta hit it in the right spot. Otherwise, that whole bat's just gonna rattle and give you crazy vibrations. You can hurt yourself. Like,
well, when you come to Colorado, we'll go to a batting cage, and you can show me how to properly hold a bat. How about that?
All right, you got it.
Oh my gosh.
Batting cage is
okay.
All right. Well, when you come, that's what we're gonna do. It's a date.
And I've never been to batting cage.
Hey, John, I think I just got Planet Hulk. I'm not sure. I bought a bunch of the issues. I'm not sure if I have them all, but I have not read them. You are right on that.
Okay. So with the last minute wrapping up here, I think we are going to close out the show. I would like to give a heads up to everybody that next week's show is going to be a little bit different. There's going to be 6 people on. Ha!
What?
The first 5 return for a return show. It's going to still be at 8 o'clock Mountain Time, but we're probably going to be going for an hour, a little over an hour. So please stay tuned for that. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. There's going to be craziness of people absolutely everywhere. And it's going to be a whole diversity of topics. So with that being said, Jeff, thank you so much for coming on.
It's cool.
I saw a lot of people getting into baseball, and then the covers for the Hawks started popping up. I'm like, yes, this was perfect.
Yeah, no, it's
Thumbnail.
cool.
You guys, everybody, the advertisement for IG.
The
that was
advertisement
from
and the
Jeffrey.
Hulk on the picture front. Yeah, that was from Jeffrey.
So supportive and so amazing and awesome. And we're so honored that he could join us tonight. Thank you, Jeffrey. You won.
I'm
Thank you
happy
so
to be here.
much.
It's cool.
All righty. Well, thanks
Alrighty.
again. Thank you, everybody in the chat. Thank you so much for your support. and
Thank
for
you,
being
everybody.
here.
I saw a peak of
We
20
love
people,
you
so
all
thank
so
you.
much. And we will
See you all